And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one today at Big VeVe live stream. Today, we're just going to go over the last drop of DesignerCon. This is the fourth drop today. Shout out to everyone who's at Dcon London. Shout out to everyone who's going for the drops earlier today. I'll let you guys know in a little bit if I picked any up in the drop, in the marketplace. I kind of wanted just to touch on a little bit of a recap of all the drops today. I want to touch on definitely why it's important to collect what you love, especially in a bear market. And then we got an amazing little pop-up VeVe community update from the whole team today. So shout out to Hello K. He was one that recorded or streamed the live event today in London. So we're definitely going to be going over that video as well today. Shout out to Energy in here early. We got DB. Definitely got to be nighttime for you. So shout out to you, DB, for tuning in today. We got Energy up to 130 sets. I think that's going to be huge once the Master Collector program rolls out. I want to dive right into Vivian 3's video today. Shout out to Heather and Corey. I want to touch on basically all the drops. Go over a little bit of the background information in case you guys pick any up in the marketplace later on. I haven't picked up any of the drops so far today. I skipped out on every single drop. Right now, I'm really trying to collect my gems and just keep them, not really spend too much right now. Keep, a pretty disciplined approach when it comes to these drops. So there's just too many deals in the marketplace to really, for me at least, because I don't have, crazy amounts of money I can just keep putting in. So I got to be disciplined with my gems. Can't be going for every single drop. So pass on the drops today, but I definitely wanted to give a little background information about a lot of these drops today. So we're definitely going to be tuning into Vivian 3. And then right after this video, I think we're going to dive right into Hello K's video he posted on his channel. Shout out to Hello K. It's going to be a little bit hard to hear, but we'll watch probably about 30 minutes of it. I think they announced some important details in this live stream. Some upcoming drops that are happening, some information that's going down with the burning. I think that's going to be huge. Talked about how commons could be basically ultra rares. And I'll touch on why and a whole bunch of different things happening. So I think it was a pretty important AMA as well, too. So definitely good live stream from him. Shout out to Hello K. Also, I just want to touch on a lot of these prices that are going on in the marketplace. We got the drop happening in about 10 minutes, so we're probably going to start with the drop that's happening right now. I don't know too much about this drop, so I'm definitely going to be interested to find out what Heather and Corey have to say from the Vivian 3. And then we'll have the drop, and then we'll go back and see what they have to say about some of these other drops that happened today. Let me know in the chat. I know Energy was saying that he got a couple of these drops. I think the extra large ones will do pretty well over time. These are animated. Pretty limited, too, if I remember correctly. See the ultra rare. How many editions? Yeah, 788. Yeah, pretty limited. I think it's going to do pretty well. Let's see what the price is going for right now. Not going to load for me? Oh, there we go. Yeah, 95. I think they'll do pretty good. I mean, anything extra large is pretty good brand, so pretty popular, pretty big brand. I know this is going to be a pretty sought after one once I think his fan base comes to VeVe. See what the ultra rare is going for. Floor price we have 190, 189. That's a good one. This is pretty real limited. 450, yeah. That's definitely going to be a solid one, I think. The 4 drops. First one was Scott Tolleson. Now, this is not his first drop on the app. I think his first drop happened with that first DesignerCon, I think it only has about 600 editions. I used to have it, and I let it go. I always thought about grabbing it back because I do think it's just part of history having the first DesignerCon ultra rare. Especially just because it's the Dcon mascot, so I felt like, it had some importance there. Then we had the Hype Bow, then the Extra Large, and the Valfrey. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but hopefully I am. We're going to dive into Vivian 3's video right now, actually. The Zodiac girls, let's check them out.
eye-catching piece. Closing out on day one, we have Isabelle Frey bringing in 3 of her Zodiac girls in blind box format at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with a gem price of $65. Belfrey hails from Mexico, and her art style is tagged as Mexican contemporary. She is known for her eccentric female characters and spent a lot of time being rejected before finally finding a footprint in the art world. Her persistence paid off as her brand and art has found international attention. Here's a clip of her being featured on national television. Pushing forward, she's collaborated with industry giants like Sailor Moon, Tokidoki, Playboy, Scholastic, Ipsy, and more. And the pieces that we're seeing drop are 3D renderings of her 2D art line, which was an open zodiac signs line. And open just means that these don't have a limit on production. And despite being open, these physical prints are roughly the same price as the pieces being released on the platform. Speaking of, let's see what she's dropping for us. First coming in at Rare, we have Aries, minting 1,188 editions. Fans of her physical work will appreciate the attention to detail, as all the symbols and design aesthetics from that piece have been mirrored in this digital offering. Doing a side-by-side, we can see the source material has been honored, and much like the VeVe press release says, this piece will add a spark of life to any vault. Next, we have Leo, also coming in at Rare, and also minting 1,188 editions. It appears the rarity and mints for all 3 of these pieces are identical, so scarcity shouldn't cause one piece to overperform, as we've seen with mini set releases on the platform. Again, when compared to the source material, we see all of the major symbols being honored. From the astrology symbols to the moon rainbow, this piece will be very familiar to collectors of her works. Finally, Sagittarius is coming in at a Rare and minting 1,188 editions. This bow-wielding beauty looks to strike down anything that dares to get into her way. And we don't know squat about astrology, but we do recognize that, again, the source material is being replicated in a big way. The interesting thing about this set is that fans will likely want all 12 pieces once they're all available. In a perfect world, exactly 1,188 people will be able to accomplish this feat, but given some pieces will get locked up in accounts, the total number of people who are able to complete this feat will be much lower. And before we wrap the info dump, a quick shout out to the Rhubarb Patch family. We've got 2 new members, Big Oz and Jimbo Lee Lingo. You've both been entered into the weekly giveaway. And that weekly giveaway is going to be drawn today, and winners will be announced tomorrow. We've sent the 2 winners, the Hero Pack and the Scotty Young variant. Those went to like Scotland and Canada. They're international shipping, but we enjoy doing this, and we're excited to see what loot you all score next. But man, that little guy seems pretty stoked about something. And then
probably go in reverse order on this video. A little different today. A little different order today, but I think it's going to be worth it. I definitely think she touched on a great part right there. I mean, a lot of these drops are going to probably do pretty well over time. It's just going to take their fan bases to really start to adopt digital collectibles, adopt the VeVe app. And that's when I think a lot of these, artist collectibles that are pretty scarce, that's when I think they're going to pop off. Things in the short term, they may not be too expensive, of course. But, I mean, especially once we get into the details of the video, from the video today about when they touch on burning, this is going to be a huge aspect. They touched a little bit. I don't want to give too many details, too many gems away from this video. It's about a 40-minute live stream, but there's so many hidden gems in this one. One part David was talking about was with the burning, there's definitely going to be different incentives. Like maybe you burn, 30 commons and an uncommon and a secret rare, and then it gives you access to a 1 of 5 NFT. So, the sky's kind of the limit, and it's just interesting to see them really touch on different possibilities. Dan gave a great little teaser again. He said nothing confirmed. Of course, nothing confirmed. But he talked about how, maybe there's going to be gaming aspects in the VeVeverse, like where you could race, have different racetracks, and then with the vehicles, race for pink slips. So I think there's all different types of things that you could imagine. But of course, long-term vision, nothing's like going to be happening around the corner. But we got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left for the drop. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys going for this drop? You guys skipping it? I will be skipping this drop. I've skipped all of them so far today. If I was to go for one of them, it probably would have been let's see here. It might be one of the hype bows, honestly. or maybe the extra large. I'm probably not even saying his name right. I know Fran Elation is going for that one. Shout out to Fran. I mean, people in the sneaker, I think, collecting industry definitely see him as see some value attached to his name there. I would say extra large though. I mean, because it's animated, I'd probably go with the extra or the ultra rare there. Again, guys, for the blind boxes, make sure you guys don't have the details brought down. Super Simono, how we doing, fam? Yeah, energy skipping this one. So cool to see David in real life. Yeah, shout out to you guys who went. Saw VeVe Magic there. Tito, do you think this artist let their fans know about this drop? I'm not too sure, Tito. I didn't go for any of these drops. BDK kind of skipped them all. I just want to kind of touch on the recaps. Basically, I just want to go over prices of all these drops in the marketplace. I got the VeVe web app open right here. I want to touch on some of these prices in the marketplace, touch on just why it's important to go after what you love. And then really the main reason why I'm streaming today is to touch on this video from Hello K today. Just had a bunch of golden gems in here, a bunch of little nuggets that were pretty big announcements in my opinion. Our next drop details. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I think it's a good one to watch. So big reason why I'm streaming this one today. Get some comments real quick. We got 1 minute, 27 seconds left. The Hype Beast, the Moes. Yeah, a lot of people like this one, real talk. I know Fran Relations is a huge sneakerhead, and I think, a lot of sneakerheads would be into this one. So it's a pretty limited edition. Give it some time. I think once the fan base is again, we're in a pretty, I would say bad state of the economy right now. Bear market all over. So that's another reason why I guess I'll touch on it right now. We got a minute left to the drop. It's so important to collect what you love because not every single drop is meant to go crazy, right? Go crazy in value right away. In a booming market, you can kind of get away with maybe like we did back in January, February, going for a lot of these drops just to go look to flip. But a lot of these drops are not really meant for that. So I think save that mentality for when there's a bull market. Again, not financial advice, not financial advisor, just my opinions, right? But I think, so in this case, like for me, I'm just saving my gems right now. They did talk about how they're reserving some of their bigger drops or just because of the state of the economy right now. We got 20 seconds left. Let's go, Dcon Mascot and the Hype Outset Master Dunn, Jimbo Lee Lingo, my man. How we doing, Jimbo? You going for this drop? We got 10 seconds left, everyone. Two, one. Boom. Which one did you guys go for? I think this is one of the few non-blind boxes. Let's see what the comments are saying in this one. Does anyone follow them on Instagram? Looks like someone said they had almost like 1 million followers on Instagram. 15K followers, not 900K. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm sure, pretty big fan base overall. I mean, it's just going to take time. Excuse me. Guy with the lowest minute Dcon got a silver gold VeVe logo. Wow, that is amazing. You mean for the drop? That's pretty sweet. That's cool that they did that. All right, let's dive into this video right now. Shout out to everyone who was there. You guys probably were there in real life. Shout out to Kay for streaming this one. It's kind of hard to hear, so I'm sure it's going to be even harder to hear maybe through like me live streaming. If it's too bad, just let me know in the chat and we won't watch it, the whole thing. But if you can hear it a little bit, I think it's some valuable information in this one.
Okay. All right, thanks. Yeah, like I said, guys, I think it's a forward tech, but before we get started, I think all of us thank you for participating. It's showing up. I'm sure we're all feeling it, but it's so surreal to be big faces today. Really decide what traveling against.
I think it gets a little bit better at least.
That's what it's going to get, really. Thank you. Well, yeah, well, yeah, we had a short time for David to go on script. I didn't get my one page. Yeah, just really one thing. Yeah, my primary job day to day, obviously, to look forward next 2-3 years. We want to get more content from Asia. Anime, let's be honest, the Japanese market is a new market that we really look at. There are a few things that's holding back, not just the license, really about the language barrier. You know, a lot of people are looking for localization, which is something we need on. But before that happened, we've recently launched the web app, as you know, and that is really the start of it. And language, well, that Dan explained when that will be coming. I think it's really just quickly, if everybody can on the wall kind of take a step down so more people can come in on the. Yeah, you can sit in the middle here. In the middle, yeah, space here. Yeah, there's plenty of space there. All right. And pretty much, you guys can ask anything. This is the first live AMA. Yeah.
First live AMA. Let's go. Sorry, it's not like perfect. Shout out to everyone got a VeVe tattoo.
I mean, you probably drop the inside things that get governed by the court. You know, so for example, our bigger partners like Marvel, Disney, etc. You know, they're still a bit nervous about, setting their IP out to the wild, so to speak, and they really sort of trust the platform because it is a closed environment. But really, what we want to do is make sure that VeVe is on par with every other platform out there. So, we actually want to retain, all of them on the platform, but we do understand that profitability is a big thing in the crypto space. So, watch this space.
Yeah, it just to further there a little bit. A lot of our IP owners have given us the rights to do that, but we're just not quite ready.
It's big right there.
Recognize a lot of the marketplace. People do scam, people do fake things out. And we're working to clean that up as well with our clients. That really security is the benefit. We want people to use VeVe and think of the NFT we do and trust our brand, trust, how they operate. That's the number one goal. There's more people trying to come in, so if anybody can next week, down. Popular dog.
Super Simona said, but I saw quite a few people with VeVe tattoos. Yeah, shout out to everyone who got VeVe tattoos. Saw a bunch of people.
All right.
I'm going to post this out real quick.
Anybody else? In short answer, I think yes. The truth is yes. We have slowed down some of our major brands. We have a couple really big releases that we held back, and I think it's a couple of things. Number one is the KYC. We want to make sure all the users are participating, getting verified the KYC side. And once all that's ready, then we'll be dropping a couple of major, big brands, maybe October, November, USC, and then. We've also changed the structure of the prop. Not doing 5 posts anymore. We have that kind of that And a couple of things about the editions and the poses. And we just want to make sure our users understand some of these assets of digital collectibles are the first time they're ever going to be appear in digital. And you have to think.
Huge. Drop the mic on them. That's big right there. I mean, I say it all the time. A lot of us in the community say this all the time. These are the first appearance of the biggest characters in the world. First time ever in the digital format.
And right now, the user might be very small. 4, 5, 10 years, we're hoping to onboard up to 30, 40, 50 million users. When you hit that many,
the next 4 to 5 years, they anticipate to onboard 20, 30, 40, 50 million new users. That tells me they're going to be getting a huge marketing push from the biggest brands in the world, Marvel, Disney. I mean, we've been saying it's going to happen. A lot of people have been saying, why is there no marketing? It's because as far as they've gotten, things still just aren't finished yet. I mean, the web app just got here. There's still got to be iterations on that. There's different features that have to be finished. So once that happens, that's when these big brands are going to promote it. So, I mean, that just goes to show you that they anticipate to have 30, 40, 50 million new users in the next few years. So
users, and you only release first appearance of certain heroes in such a small quantity, it's going to create a huge issue. It's almost like me going to buy first appearance of Spider-Man right now. We have to pay 25 to 80,000, and some people paying 3.2 million for that comic. What we don't want to see is a huge inflationary suddenly overnight. We want to see a steady growth. Maybe it's about getting more and more mass market users. Once the views start to come in, the importance of these characters will be very significant. They're very relevant. Why you have different poses, Batman or Spider-Man or these things. It's very, very hard for us as a company to choose one pose or one collectible. It's very, very difficult. So, and we will
Shout out to the vault.
See a lot of collectibles no longer getting the FA. They're getting, I think, which one? Recently, they didn't get an FA in the market.
Cap Bronson.
Mr. Fantastic, for example. So the FA of that is the original when they first came out, and you'll see this continue to go down. So a lot of people go, well, everything is FA. Well, that's not true. We already start to see it. We're only on the second year of the ad, and we already start to see non-FA characters are coming out.
One other growing question you got talked about growing that user base. Obviously, like events like this are one of those ways to target the company. Can we share some of those in our plan here, or how we're?
Yeah, so we always knew that we're living in a connection bubble, right? Same as .com back in the 2000s, and that's why NFT last year was so great. Everyone knew about it. Now that we're seeing that bubble soften, which is something that we always anticipated was going to happen. We're going to just start really cranking up our paid marketing or our more active marketing. For example, specifically targeting Disney fans or specifically targeting Star Wars fans, really driving them into the app because we've got such a big range of collectibles now. We can really start to target these users more specifically. So 2023, you can expect to see a lot of that activity going on.
You can start asking.
When marketing, it's coming.
They might share some posts or whatever, but ultimately they're an IP holder, right? It's not up to them. They might do it if they want to promote or push a specific drop, but ultimately that's on us.
Yeah, it's similar. You don't see these big brands help you market the latest T-shirt or marks that you're bringing out or mouse pad. It's up to the licensee to push that.
Yeah, but the fact that they earn fees every time they sell them buy it.
Yes.
Different from logically. It's not to say that they don't want anything to do with promoting this. It just has to be very calculated on the
donating a certain time. And our fans probably have seen a lot of the stuff that we brought out as called running with some theatrical release with movies. That's really cool marketing already. You're releasing something that's day-to-day release, which is very difficult to do for a lot of these IP, because we get a lot of sensitive information way advanced before a movie comes out, and so on.
Okay, perfect. For the vertical,
Oh yeah. Okay. The next vertical we're looking at is sports and
Let's go.
music. We're still trying to work out what is the best way to make it relevant for our video audience. It is quite important that we're not just bringing out a collectible for the sake of what other people do. You know, we really want to bring a premium product out. And more and more, our users are asking you utility value. So we want to make sure that we come with a very good offering. So, you know, you will want to keep that and you will want to own it.
Yeah. Great answer.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to make sure that we have a good lineup of things all together and then promote it as a overall. I mean, you sing a lot of the comic, you sing a lot of the superhero. Like this week, for example, is all about artists, celebrating artists. And
so that tells me once I got sports going, it's going to be a lot of sports. It's another reason why I'm trying to get my gems ready. I think sports is going to be big. I do believe in a lot of the superhero characters more so than a lot of the athletes and everything like that. But I think what sports is going to do is create a lot of excitement. A lot of fandom's going to come to the app, possibly, depending if they kind of co-market with a lot of what the football season is going to be doing. You know, if we have NFL players with NFL games each week, that could be huge. So it would just create a lot of excitement, a lot of fandom.
Month of September, I think we're going fully quiet, even on, you know, one of our biggest licensors. We almost will not release anything for the month of September coming up. And you guys will see it, and it will be something else.
I mean, we are releasing something. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. And Super Shimono, yeah, vehicles are going to be huge. I mean, in this video, I think maybe around like 20-minute mark, I did watch this video already, so they did say what the new vehicles are going to be, and I think that's going to create a lot of excitement as well, too.
Not as frequent as
New drop.
we normally do.
It's coming up soon, I think, this month.
Okay, right in the back, I think you have one, right?
Wish I could have heard that.
We've been building the engine behind it quietly behind the picture. We really think at this moment, this is my take of the metaverse. Right now, number one is we all know everyone's building their own engine, so it's not going to be interruptible. That's one. Number two is most of the social company out there, they all have their mandate. With VeVe, it's going to be slightly different because we don't really use your data. If you're not paying for an app, you basically are the product yourself. And that is something that we don't believe in. We really want you guys own that collectible. You can do things with it. With the metaverse, how I see it is I don't want to go in there and my friend in Australia or in UK and Europe, they all in different time zones, they go into the space and they don't see each other because they're different. And you go in 4 or 5 times, you lose interest because your mates don't live there. So you never log back in. So the way we want to do it is we do want to take small parts, small chunk, and build it up as we go. And the truth is, we could launch it at the end of this year. It's really up to the gentleman next to me.
He's not going to do it. He's going to say he's not ready. I feel like Dan's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Like he probably could release it, but he's going to like try to perfect it, so it could take a little bit longer. That's just my opinion because I feel like Dan is a perfectionist by now. I feel like that's kind of how he is.
Yeah. So we're basically going to really evolve into the metaverse. You know, the whole process of our approach to the metaverse is that we're just going to take baby steps. First stage of that is massive upgrade to showrooms. So basically become your VeVe home. And it's totally awesome, by the way.
I like that. So right there, that shows that he's already said it before in past AMAs. Like they're actively working behind the scenes on the VeVeverse. So he's already seen what the VeVe homes look like. They look awesome, by the way. He says like they talked about how you're going to be able to level up, have different stories to your house, different apartments, like garages to it. Like it's just imagine like another digital world. Now the difference is you actually own these assets. So like if for say you do own the first ever Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Disney, whatever characters, artists, collectibles you have, and they happen to go up in value, you actually own that stuff. So that's a difference between maybe previous games that are similar to the metaverse style. I guess you could call it game or whatever you want to call it, immersive world.
And then after that, from our perspective, we really just want to see what our do, what they want, how they kind of act and interact inside these interactive worlds. And from there, we actually do have a plan of where we want to go. But metaverse is really still evolving. So we kind of want to take a bit of a baby steps approach to it. But to answer your question,
makes sense.
Yeah, it is very different than what everyone else is building out there. It's unreal. Makes sense.
Do you guys can see a world where you can walk around your house and look at your collectibles? And how do you think that works with the sense of Apple, for example, that you can't use it on R1? How would you go and get someone to make the glasses, or how would you envision that playing out?
It's going to be a provider of somebody's going to take out glasses, a big stick of pieces. I think that's the and the place I've got. But in that, it's what they call Pixar. But that is really going to the
I want to give it to the kids.
But ultimately, that's good for the wins. And that's very big, particularly a bit
I didn't hear that question at all. Shout out Kunal.
But we actually like to give specific people, our recruitment people, they won't put up a job post. They'll go out and find very specific people on LinkedIn, reach out to them. So we, rather than having like a very, very big team, we always want to stay quite small because that means that we can be very agile. So we have, more of a high density workforce where everyone is quite skilled at what they do. Yeah, we will. Yeah. So all of that kind of stuff will happen with the metaverse. But yeah.
I think part of that is discussed having badges, but then we go to part of MTP, I think. Great.
Yeah, what's up, guys? In 2018, we got tipping back.
2018 is probably way out.
Yeah, okay. Understood. Game boxing.
I wish I could hear that.
But you do have to keep in mind, outside just VeVe, we do have other gaming company partnered with us that's utilizing, whether it's Omi, the Omi side of things, leveraging off that relationship, and you will see more and more to be announced.
But also,
Huge.
We will have certain gaming areas, like for example, and this is totally example, disclaimer, like this.
Now, last time he said this, he talked about rolling out an uncommon Superman, and that's exactly what we brought. So listen to what he has to say about this.
It could be a race track where all of the cars you've got go race to big splits.
Yeah,
something like that. Like that. We might end up going down that path, but like I say, we really want to see where that technology evolves.
Oh, yes.
It won't be metaverse, but we will. What do we call it?
The digital black hole.
Yeah.
So I guess we
This is big.
are going to be bringing out new scarcity of collectibles. In the company, what you see out there right now, what's being released is the finished product. We will be launching, for example, there's going to be a couple new category, possibly one of them's hard to buy. Items that it's very hard to buy as a collectible. We have seen the Red celebrating the Marvel 83rd birthday, released the metallic red. That is one of the first few we're trialing out of that.
And I think we were going to do it.
And we're going to do, we have some prototypes. Okay, so the prototypes might be very rare, like 1 of 10 or 1 of 5 collectibles. And then the users can trade in X amount of their comments
OBL.
on one of these prototypes to swap, and then we will burn whatever you trade in with the companies. So, and that will help to take these commons or uncommons out of circulation. So, for example, if you want to trade a super rare, big brand name prototype and 1 in 5 NFT, the requirement might be 30 comments and 5 uncommons and 1 super rare. And then when you swap that with us, we'll basically burn those, and they will go down burning. We are going to come up with
huge. BZ's about to be burning. BZ's about to be burning all his comics. Let's go. Shout out to the Palace. That's hilarious. Yeah, Brendan, I bet you love to hear him saying that. That's exactly what I thought of. That's funny. I thought of you and some other people stacking crazy amounts of comics. I was like, oh, they're loving his right now.
It works still. And our lawyers are working around, the galaxy around them. So we're waiting for all that to happen before we just, announce what's the first one now.
And that's what we referred to in the past as burn events.
Yeah, correct.
Is there one for that? The countdown? What's the next step?
Yep, so there's the process where you buy advance, cover the approved first, and what the remaining.
It's big. Shout out to the world stacking.
And you will start to see.
Ooh.
And we will be retiring some of these collectibles that you see in the store for a number of months now. We might do that by giving you guys the last warning to buy, basically, before we take it off the platform.
That's big news right there.
And we will be retiring some of these collectibles that you see in the store for a number of months now. We might do that by giving you guys the last warning to buy, basically, before we take it off the platform.
What lines, OBL?
Yeah. And it is going to happen. So I'm here to, I guess we can announce that. It's going to happen.
VeVe has been blessed with
44 minutes.
Second sell out since our launch because the NFT bubble.
Big.
But that was never like our intention. We always expected the store would be stocked with collectibles, and so we do anticipate that in the future. Stuff just won't sell out. That's just a normal thing.
Facts.
But if we're still selling like 10,000 editions 5 minutes, and it's still pretty damn good. I haven't complained about that. But if they did anything over, yeah, they'll get burned, which is great because you're reducing that toxic waste supply.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's similar. You go to your Walmart, this season you do certain type of toys. They don't sell. You got no shelf space. They do take them off. We'll do very similar. We really.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who went and got a shirt with the NFT. That line was crazy. I didn't know what that was for until people were telling me that was the line for the Jermaine Rogers, I think, right? The T-shirts.
For us, number one is to work out the legality around it, because our licensors need to be aware that we're about to delete certain things. Because it makes the comments become quieter. Some of these comments become ultra rare, perhaps. And artificial.
Think of how scarce the comments are going to be after a while, especially the low digit ones. Woo! I'll tell you what. That's why it's so important to collect what you love. I love the original cover comics. I think all rarity is going to do great, though, in my opinion, because I've always said, a true collector, they're not just going to stop at one. They're probably going to get the original cover and then whichever variant cover they like the artwork of or they can afford or whatever the case is. So that's why I think all the rarities of the big time comics will do really, really well.
Especially those prices will just go up because supply and demand. But this is going back the same as Atari. They burned all those ET games. And when you do own one of those ET games, they were tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands in mint condition. So, the supply and demand is just same as physical.
You also didn't as well. So, yes.
This interview is going to be legendary. I hate to keep stopping it, guys, but I just want to talk about this. This is going to be legendary because it's the first ever live community update AMA with the whole team together too. And I just think years down the road, a few years, 5 years, when they're big time, this is going to be looked back as history right here.
In the past, we like American comments. They've got business. They've got how many of those I will try not to ask anything funny. So firstly, I think you liked my video where I did the mixed reality drop. So that stuff is all definitely coming there. So that's I'm super excited for. Also, Singapore is definitely a great market for VeVe. But when I went there, a lot of people, they were like, this is amazing. I've never heard of this, but they got it straight away. So with the Asia marketing side, is it going to be more towards kind of partnering up with the licensors to do it together, or do you guys have your own strategy for targeting the Asian niche? Because collecting is definitely very big there.
Yeah, some obviously it's all IP driven. Some IP will be working with them. Some stuff we're doing the digital, physical digital company now. We're working with toy companies.
The digital.
Similar products. We've been working for a number, maybe up to even a year with one of the largest women to come up with ways to do it. It is very difficult when you do these core branding. You don't want people to go to the retail shop, just take it out.
Yeah.
So we still, we're working with the brand owners in this local market. With the Asian market, it is very important that we find a good localized specialist. Japan will be one that we are very focused on at the moment.
I think you would have noticed this, David, is in Singapore they have vending machines everywhere that sell collectibles.
That'd be amazing.
One of those, it'll be amazing.
Yeah, we have a lot of retailers that actually ask us to be partnered with. Yesterday was Friday, right?
We got bots.
I was meeting with the largest collectible chain in UK. They own retail shop collectibles store common throughout the whole UK. They want to partner up with VeVe Dcon. Obviously, is another very niche market that we partner up if we bring you guys together here today. So we'll be doing similar events in Japan. And I will go in the.
Oh, I meant to block it. Put it inside meld.
I will dress up the cosplayer too.
Sailor Moon.
That bot comes back.
I just want to give
I'll have to
heads
block
up
it.
that the drop is happening in the next 5 minutes. It is hype bound. We do have physical hype bound for sale at the VeVe booth. And if you collect all three, it's the physical Dior piece. So if you're so inclined, if you're so interested, we will be handling that at the VeVe booth. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I hope they do that with more
So
collectibles.
you collect 3 of the
if you get all three of the
you get the physical for free.
you get the Dior edition physical for free.
Okay. On the drop.
And then first 5 people to jump.
Oh, wow. That changes a lot right there. Wow, I left that detail out to the end.
I don't have that many Dior games. Yeah. Better start running.
Oh, man, could you imagine?
If you get the highest length of that and the high bow, I'm going to give away. I will sacrifice one of my trademark.
What?
The trademark. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, logo card. I thought it was a tattoo. By the way, I've seen at least 6 so far this weekend. Where are this?
They do work. They are
Yeah, the problem is that the font keys for the promo code is a bit difficult. So the I's and the L's. Yeah.
and the O and the
These
D,
bots.
they look very similar. So you might need to try a few times. But yeah, bring that up. We'll help you. We'll get out later when it's not so busy.
A little bit of time left. I want to get to this guy's question. Then we have some other things that we were going to generally talk about. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think we're planning to roll out the next iteration of the program next month, hopefully, before timing works out. And then we'll take those rounds of community feedback as well, make sure that we've designed is hitting the market, how people actually want it. And then development, that's something back end stuff already, but I think that's.
You shouldn't have said next month. You shouldn't have said next month. No, Reach promised us.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Just wanted to quickly talk about some upcoming things.
Yeah, do we want to do the drop before we do this?
Yeah. You got 2 minutes.
September the 8th, I believe we are celebrating Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
So we have our next vehicle series for Star Trek coming up. We like I mentioned earlier before, you see the comic that come out, you see the superhero. Here onwards, you're going to see a lot of vehicle type of product.
Vehicles.
You got Star Trek coming out on September the 8th. I need to make sure I come.
I feel like vehicles are really huge.
I believe we are dropping the first, also this month, September, we are also dropping the first Star Wars vehicle. Okay.
That'll be big.
There's
That'll be big right there.
The detail. And subject to change.
Man, my neck still hasn't gone better.
Okay.
It's the longest stiff neck I've ever had in my life. Never had one last almost it's like 4 or 5 days now. Go for the drop. This is hilarious. Are they timing it? They timing it?
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I should have went for this one. Wow, that's crazy. Everyone counted down. That's mad respect right there. That many people struck out? Wow. That was a limited drop. Let's see what the prices are. What's Hype Owl doing? Uncommons at 26. The rares at 41. I feel like the ultra rare is going to do pretty well on this one. I can't find the ultra rare, of course. That's odd. Why can't I find that one? Sorry to stop it right there. Thought I could just find it real quick. Ultra rare price is $166.
Yeah, we can see it on the back.
Yeah, real time data.
So what?
I guess he would. That's it.
What bit number?
Yeah, but.
Wow.
Good point. David did not hit 41. Did he?
All right,
Yeah, sure. The internet probably wasn't great.
Thank you very much, everybody. I know this was a packed room, and I've screwed it all in here and made it nice and cozy for everybody. We appreciate you coming out. Not only the designer,
Pepe, I thought you really meant David got 41 minutes. I was like, holy cow.
but to see us and to let us talk about the product that we love so much in front of everybody. We'll be around all the rest of the weekend. You got any more hot?
Yeah, yeah. So a couple of things that we'd like to ask. Myself and Dan, we've thought very hard that our users probably want some accessories in their showroom. Is this something you guys want? And what do you want to see in the accessories? We just want to. Oh, yeah, put your hand out and tell us.
Wait, let's just take a couple.
Yeah.
Give me a hand.
What kind of accessories do you guys want?
Sets. Okay.
Reese remembers plants and showrooms.
Okay.
So when we think about like the metaverse, think about how do we differentiate our collectibles. So like the capes you guys have mentioned, accessories for the collectibles.
Mid number badges, etc. Anybody else?
Look at Dan holding his face. He's like, oh, I said the capes. You guys know that video that I kept replaying? It's an old one from like 2018. He says, shout out to Dan. He says, I'm not confirming anything, but if we happen to roll out, say, an uncommon Superman, not saying we have the Superman, DC license, but if we do, and then later on we roll out accessories like capes, like a secret rare gold cape, man, that'd be exciting. And I think whoever asked that question, it sounded like Taps. It might have been Taps. Shout out to Taps. Whoever asked that question, great answer or question, whatever it was, because I think that's going to be huge. Accessories for these collectibles to make them more, customizable, more individual. I think it's going to be big.
Okay.
Slabs.
Come on. Yeah. Maybe. Sorry? Yeah. Only he knows.
Well, actually, Dave's the CEO, so we can put it out there.
Okay, we'll try to have it by Q1 2023. Is that doable? 24?
That's right.
24.
Very close, right now. I think the post over there, thank you, everything's done.
Shout out Kudo.
I think the last thing we have to
Famous last words.
but how much going to be in like a nice case? I think the last thing over here. And we've got, I guess, what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to have a beautiful comic case, like a C2C case, and that's going to pull in all of the metadata. So it'll basically say what edition it is, what brand, what series, who owns it, all of that kind of cool stuff. So that's why it's taking a bit longer, because we want to do something a bit special with it rather than just throwing comics
and the other thing was, do you guys want to see comic deteriorate, like real physical, or you want to always take it? I came up with that idea originally. So,
I like that idea, David.
Yeah.
Because I haven't read mine, though, so I'm
Well,
biased.
the one guy is with me. I got one, two. I got two.
I feel like bird events are
Yeah.
kind of the soft thing.
So it's likely it's going to be the trader. When you have so many comments, you can trade in for a secret rare or something, or a prototype of a comic or collectibles.
It's going to put the value up on those cheap secret rares.
Original owner.
Yes.
So you think it's one.
I would love to see that. You guys know that by now. An original owner tag. That's what I want. On my comics, collectibles. Something that says original owner. Be huge.
I mean, in the real comic world, we have a thing called pedigrees, right? Because the pedigree will be, for example, Dr. Prophet owns a whole collection. He bought it, and it's only one or two owner. His entire secret rare, that's called a pedigree, right? It's coming from a legitimate whale user. He owned it for 5 years, 6 years. When he sells that collection, you know, maybe Christie's or Sotheby's, it will be categories. Maybe we'll yeah, we have those data, I guess, is if we want to build something around that to level that up. But eventually it's very likely.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, I think for that one, we hadn't really considered it. We'd have to scope it out. See, how much demand there'd be.
I think it'd be huge
There
demand.
will be a lot more transparency coming into 2023 with, price history, ownership history, all of that kind of stuff that, you would see on other platforms like see, etc.
Yeah, all right. Our overtime in our
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give another thank you for everybody for showing up. So please give yourselves a it is first come, first served. They're not guaranteed entry. I'm sorry, it is such a small space. Booked it without knowing that the entirety of the European family was going to come out.
Let's go.
We really look forward to hanging out with you, having a beer. Please try to get there early. There's overflow. Oh, it's at the box right now. There's no tickets. It's like first come, first served.
It's gonna be a line.
For
Get there early.
certain purchasers, it's drink vouchers only. It's not entry, but yeah. From 6 in theory, so yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Oh,
If I were you, maybe go to the terrace area around.
Yeah.
But DJ is DJing tonight. We'll move.
some big updates though, guys. I mean, burning events is gonna be huge. So, being able to swap in, trade in some of those commons that people stack, uncommons, secret rares, for a chance to get like a 1 of 5, 1 of 10 prototype. That's huge, right? Because then you could always flip that, hold that, whatever the case is. I mean, we talked about how new vehicles are coming, right? Star Wars vehicle collection is going to be big. I think the first vehicle is going to be huge. David touched on the details on that one's going to be big. Couple big things coming. What kind of accessories would you guys want to see? Would you guys like more accessories on like these individual collectibles, or like more so on the actual in the showroom? Because I feel like right now they're kind of conflicted because of all the accessories people can make with different collectibles. Like for instance, you don't really need a shelf if you can just use another collectible and use that as a shelf. So I feel like they're not really sure which direction to go on that one, which makes sense. It's kind of why they're asking for feedback there. But let me wrap up the live stream soon. I just want to touch on some of these prices that we saw so far from the drops. Got the first one today, the Dcon mascot, going for $16.99. Let's see, the very first Dcon mascot. Let's see if we can bring this one up and kind of compare prices. I do think the first one's always going to be the most valuable. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, the first one to kind of raise went up in value, $240. Shout out to all the Heroes Edition holders out there. I think that one is definitely going to be the most expensive. I think there's only like 600 editions of that one, roughly. Then we got the Hype Bow, the Ultra Rare today. Going for $174. I think this one was a blind box. $42 for the rare. We got the Uncommon going for $26.99. I think this was $25 list price, if I'm not mistaken. So it's good to see that's definitely staying above retail there. Let's see here. What else was dropped today? Let's go check out the extra large. The rare is the one that has the more editions. It's got only 1,088 editions. Still pretty rare for $51. So just above retail. We got the extra large here. Again, this is the blind box, I believe, $50. The 788 editions. $95, so a little 2X. Let's see what this one looks like in 3D. Sometimes I have a hard time bringing these up. They don't load, but sometimes they do. So hopefully we have some luck right here. Yeah. The longest stiff neck I've ever had in my entire life. I think the animation on this actually looks really good, to be honest. You're like running on a treadmill. And Extra Large is a pretty popular brand, so I think that's going to grow in value, in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course. And then we got the last one today, Isabelle Frey, Zodiac Girls. I believe these are still available. The rare is going for $65. Maybe they're not available. Maybe they sold out. I'm not too sure. It looks like, oh, this is because it is buy now. Okay, so it's not sold out. So they are, that's $65. The show, I guess it won't actually show in the market from here. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. Maybe I can just check it on my phone real quick. Let's see. Leo is going for 47. It's actually not that bad. Sagittarius is going for 51. And let's see here. Aries is going for 44. Really not that bad. Still won't load my profile for some reason. I've been struggling with that, but let's see. Drops for tomorrow. Let's check them out, huh? Let me know in the chat too. Do you guys want me to stream? I can. I mean, if you guys want me to, I can stream in the morning every drop. Or, I mean, I just had that plan to kind of switch things up and kind of go over kind of like a recap of day one. But I can do a recap day two or stream each one. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys want? First one, we got Lincoln dropping another one. Now, the good thing about this drop for tomorrow is that this is a really limited drop. Even more limited than the first one from Lincoln. So if we check out the details here, the commons only got 750 editions. I have, I think, 5 of the common ones from the first Lincoln drop. I use them as like backgrounds to my Disney collection. I like the background of the deck of the first Lincoln, so it's like a black and gold combination. Then we have the rare going for 550. We're not going for 550, but 550 editions. I'm a fisherman. I kind of like that deck. The mountains in the background. Roasted a pig. Kind of hilarious. Got the ultra rare 450 editions. I do like this one. What was the first one looking like? I like that one. I like the designs of the first skateboards, I would say, a little bit more. But this one has a lot less editions, though. So, it's going to be interesting to see how these do. 250 editions for the secret rare. This is another interesting one. Now, this one has extremely low edition count as well, too. Look at this one. It has no face. A wooded one. Interesting. Never-ending story. All right. We got the common, less than 1,000 editions. Got the fire element. I do like the look of that one. 888 editions for the uncommon. $30 list price for these. A little bit cheaper than the skateboards. The metal one kind of reminds me of Metallo. You got the all wood one. No face. That's an interesting one. 444 editions, so definitely pretty scarce on this one. And then 111 editions for the Secret Rare. This one's going to go crazy in my opinion. This one's going to flow like water. This is going to be pretty cool for anyone who gets this one. I'll probably be passive because it is a blind box. It's more like that gamble, more like a lottery ticket there. But then we got Soy Milk. All right. I'm definitely butchering that name wrong. There's no way it's pronounced like soy. That's hilarious. We got one edition, so it's a full set. This one kind of reminds me of the Dcon drop, the mascot today, the first one. $65 list price for 1,188 editions. Seems kind of pricey to me. But I'm sure this one's going to come out looking pretty solid in augmented reality. And this one. Ooh. This one's going to be interesting. Again, one drop. Expensive one, $120, 1,288 editions, but it's animated, and I think this one's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know too much about this one, so I'm definitely excited to see what VeVe 3 has to say. I may stream every single one of these. I'm not too sure. I think I may have to stream every single one. It feels like one of those days where I may have to just stream every single one. But Millennium Falcon. That's going to be crazy, right? I do think Star Wars vehicles are going to be huge. What are some highlights from the Q&A? Yeah, I'll definitely go over some of these highlights, Jake. Appreciate you for tuning in. So some of the big highlights right away is that they're going to be burning a lot of these collectibles that stay in store for a while or in the marketplace for a while. They're going to treat it like a physical store. So if you go into Walmart, they're not going to have that same item in the store, 2 years ago. They're going to take it off and make room for new collectibles. So the stuff that you see in the marketplace that are commons or whatever rarity is that have been there for a while, they're going to be taking them off the shelf eventually. There's going to be a point in time when they let people know, make an announcement like, all right, guys, you got 3 days left or how much time's left until we're going to be burning the rest of these out of supply. And that's going to be big right there. So that's coming. So that's going to be big. Kind of touching on that same thesis is that the burning events, they did kind of reassure people that you will be able to kind of swap in, if you're someone who stacked a bunch of collectibles, a bunch of commons, or a bunch of comics, you're going to be able to trade them in, swap them in for, I think they said maybe 30 commons. They're just giving out random numbers maybe, but just examples, like 30 commons, a few uncommons, a secret rare. Maybe you swap that in and have a chance to get a 1 in 5, a 1 in 10 prototype collectible. So definitely some big things there. They touched on how the next drop is going to be Star Trek, another Star Trek vehicle. And then another drop this month is going to be the first ever Star Wars vehicle. That's going to be big right there. I think anything Star Wars related is going to be huge. Everybody's been excited for a lot of these vehicles coming from Star Wars. So let me know down in the chat, what vehicle do you think is dropping from Star Wars? David did say the details look amazing. So I'm sure it's going to come out looking great. Also, some kind of speculation things they touched on in that is that Dan did mention, now he said this about the uncommon Superman that got rolled out eventually. So there's no confirmation on this, but eventually when the VeVeverse kind of does roll out, and obviously it's going to roll out in iterations and stages. It's not going to be some complete metaverse at first. The first kind of iterations are going to be just like upgrades to your showrooms and stuff like that. It's going to be like your VeVe home. I think that's exciting. Anytime you get that more realistic feeling of like your actual VeVe digital home is going to be a big deal. And he confirmed that it looks great too. So the fact that they're working on this stuff behind the scenes is pretty exciting. But the part that he touched on that I thought was obviously speculation, but exciting was once we do get that full metaverse and that VeVeverse coming out, we will maybe possibly have gaming sections to where you could race these vehicles, race maybe the DeLorean for pink slips or something like that. So that's why I think vehicles are big. I did have 3 DeLorean. I flipped one, so just wanted some extra gems back. I probably was going a little bit too hard on the vehicles, so I'm left with 2 DeLoreans. I got 2 Echo ones. I'm probably going to pick up another kit, so just so I have 2 of those. My game plan is to just use one of those for like a renting purpose in the future, and then just hold one for the collection to use. So I always thought vehicles were going to be big. So kind of good, nice, solid confirmation that they are going to be pretty solid. Oh, wow. Okay. The face follows you. Wow. Interesting. I guess whichever way you're looking, one of those effects on it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I got to check this one out. Maybe I'll check it out right now. Probably got one of those cool effects on it. So you're saying like no matter which way, it's just stare at me? Oh, it is indented. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I think it's going to do pretty well. How do I bring it down? That's wild, actually. See, like this is actually going to do pretty well long term because this is to me is like a fine art piece. I think fine art stuff is going to do really, really well. Surprised there's 1,000 something editions in that one. Millennium Falcon's going to be wild, guys. I think. Oh wow, let me look at the details on this one too. Wow. Some deep stuff right here. Best viewed in AI on the VeVe app. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So this one's going to look pretty wild. Interesting concept right there with this one. Wow. This one's pretty good. Goes pretty deep. Oh, wow. Yeah. See, that kind of stuff would make, individual collectibles skyrocket, I think. Like for me, I've always been a fan of having like a OG non-touched Superman and then one with like accessories kind of decked out and then one to flip later. Like that's why I had to get another one because once the price goes up in Superman, which I believe it will, I have one to flip, 2 to hold on to long term. Deck one out in like a gold cape. Yeah, a lot of people are waiting for like furniture to come so they can make it like a house. Definitely low key little gem right there. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be. I think it's gonna, may not do great at first, but I think long term, once we get a bull market again, I think that's a fine art piece that could do pretty well. But I probably will be passing on it. Like I said, I'm trying to be real disciplined with my gems right now. I'm waiting for sports. When sports drops, I'm gonna have a lot of fun when sports comes. But again, I don't want to be selling my big time like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman stuff for a lot of sports athletes unless it's a top iconic athlete of all time. Then it's like, okay, maybe debatable. But most of the time, I believe in the IP stuff more so than athletes. But I think, like I said before, sports is going to bring in a new fandom. It's going to bring in a lot of excitement. So it may not be the most valuable stuff, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun regardless. NFL PA, I cannot wait. Whereas Banksy, I do, I think the one-on-one auctions is like kind of like a test, and then once we get a lot of stuff kind of wrapped up, I should say, like smoothed out, I think that's when we'll start to bring in a lot of these iconic, big time. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to all the Todd holders. That's hilarious. Just saw your other comment, real talk. I think that's when we'll start to get a lot of these big time artists. Once we get a lot of these things, ironed out a little bit more. As a Todd, any opinion? Yeah, I think that shows you that Todd's gonna be pretty valuable. A lot of people on different platforms even see value in that, so I think that's great to hear. I've always said it from day one. I've always been a believer that as VeVe continues to dominate this entire space, I think we're just gonna start to see more and more people, try to get a hold of that VeVe community. We've seen it happen before, and it's not the last time we're gonna see it, right? We're gonna see it over and over again, and it's just one of those things that shows you how powerful the community really is, right? I mean, impactful, influential, and I think a lot of times too, people recognize the greatness of VeVe and the whole community and everything that's kind of happened. I know for me personally, I've turned down, money from other platforms to solely promote just VeVe. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. But just to be transparent with you guys, I'm only going to make content about VeVe. Like I said before in plenty other, episodes or shows or whatever you want to say, there's nothing wrong with getting in other projects, right? I mean, if you believe in another project, then by all means, diversify and get into another project, I bought NFTs from different projects and platforms to test it out, see what's great, see what's not great. I still always believe in VeVe is the king of this whole entire space. I believe in it the most. And so I do believe there come a time where, maybe one VeVe gets their affiliate program, whatever the case is. But for me personally, I'm only going to make VeVe content. I've turned down a lot of other platforms to just do that. But again, there's nothing wrong with, other projects or platforms. So don't take it that way either. I know it's an easy narrative to paint, but I think the people that, really understand and really know me by now, they've heard me say it multiple times. So when NFLPA, man, I cannot wait until we start to get NFL players. I'll tell you what, if we get NFL players and augmented reality, animations to them, things like that are going to go big. There's going to be a lot of excitement with it, especially if it's during the football season. Can you only imagine? Whew. And I do think they're going to have other sports too. Like they said in that little AMA, that they're going to have a whole collection ready to go. They don't just want to drop one football player, then that be it for a while. They're going to have a lot ready to go if it's sports. So yeah, I saw a lot of that stuff going on. I try to stay out of a lot of that personally. But to each his own. There's nothing wrong with people doing their own thing. But for me, I just wanted to promote VeVe only solely. I feel like, I'm more so about, legacy. I feel like for me, I came into this finding VeVe March 2021, and I've always had the same vision, and I've always believed in it. And to this day, I felt like it's a legacy play for me. So, I mean, it would be great, especially for me, as someone who needs some extra cash right now, to pick up some extra income, doing partnerships. Definitely, I've turned down money that I needed to not do that. But I just believe it's going to be worth it one day. And so that's why I picked up another job. I had a, it's an ego blow, but I picked up another job, and that's my way of kind of supplementing that and bringing in another, way of income. So I believe long-term, legacy play is going to, pan out. But as Gary Vee says, it's long-term vision. So got Brendan Z wants UFC to come. See, I'm not a big UFC guy, but I know how big that fandom is. So that will be big. And I think with the connections that VeVe has, I think we will get UFC, fighters one day. That's going to be big. But all right, guys, I'm wrapping this up. Be on the lookout. I may end up streaming every single drop tomorrow morning. I know it's a little early in the morning too, but I don't really mind. I'm usually a morning person anyway. So Planet Profit, how we doing, fam? I'm just about to wrap this up right now. I think we will be able to fly these BZ. If they said that we're going to be able to use these vehicles, cars, there's no way we're not going to be able to fly these vehicles that fly, like the James Bond glider. I still got my glider. Star Wars, Star Trek vehicles. I think we will be able to. I think it's going to be like an upgrade, to be honest. Kind of like, I've always thought about that with the noise, like the sound on a lot of these collectibles. If they can, but they're not, it tells me that there's a reason. It tells me that there's probably an upgradable, customizable feature in the future. So it's kind of what I'm hoping for. But till tomorrow, I probably will. Let me know. I mean, I don't want to make, say 100% I will. Most likely I will be streaming every single drop in the border, but we'll see what happens. Energy has all the vehicles so far. I hope I can keep it up. It's going to be tough, Energy. I hope you can too. I had to give up on it, so I really focused on just the vehicles I do like. And we'll see what happens from here. But appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. Let me know also what you guys thought of the VeVe pop-up AMA. Write it down in the comments, your thoughts, what you guys think of the future. If you guys are still bullish, you guys know me, I'm still bullish on it. I just think great things take time. So see y'all tomorrow. I'm signing out. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, fam.